So, it's late game and your support gets killed in the middle of the enemy jungle. After everyone starts flaming, the reply comes: I was warding. This situation happens millions of times every day in League of Legends. I was warding is not an excuse to turn off your brain and face check areas you have no vision of. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to ward without getting killed in the process. First, let's start with the basics. Line of sight. Vision in League is literally a line of sight. Imagine your champion has a ton of eyes all around his head. Or don't, it's a bit creepy. But anyway, you can only see what your champion can see from his position. A great example happened on the video last week. Even though Thresh is right there, Fiddlesticks can't see him because he's too close to the wall. He doesn't have a direct line of sight of Thresh. The game doesn't make a good job at making it obvious because it should be rendering this area in fog of war. But instead, it's rendering the area with light as if you had vision, but you really don't. Here you have another example. This area is dark, so it's clear that you have no vision. But now it became bright, so in theory you should have vision of it, but if you move a bit, you'll see that's not the case. And there's another one. You have to keep this in mind when warding, and try to use these blind spots to ward places where the enemy team might be waiting for you without them seeing you. Basics number 2. When you ward, your mouse will show 3 colors. Green means it will be placed inside the brush, blue means normal terrain, and red means you can't place the ward there. Because of the camera angle, sometimes it looks like you are clicking in the brush, but the ward will be placed outside. This is a way to make sure you place the ward correctly, so remember, if it's not green, it's not in the brush. Okay, now we can start this video. Let's start with the left side. One common thing in low elo is that everyone is AFK at the start, and now that the minions are spawning, you're going to do red and bam, you're dead. If you are starting the game late, ward over the wall, just to make sure they are not waiting for you. They can still be in the other brush, and for that someone else should ward this way. But yeah, the moral of the story is don't AFK at the start and cover for invades, because ideally you don't want to waste your wards like this. You can ward the Raptor's brush like this. You can use this when you are losing and don't have vision on your own jungle. Even if the enemy team is waiting there, they won't have vision on you. You can see if I swap places with a dummy, no matter where you are in the brush, you simply have no vision on him. This ward is safe to place too, but it won't give you vision of the whole brush. Be careful because they can still be in there. Moving on to the bot tri-brush, you can ward it like this. And again, if we swap places, you have no vision, no matter where you are in the brush. If you are playing bot on the red side and they cleared all your vision, you can ward it over the wall like this from a super safe position. The thing to remember is to never face check a brush for no reason. This is what you don't want to do. Simply walk up to a brush in clear line of sight. Always try to ward from blind spots. You can ward both brushes from the alcoves without showing yourself. Same thing in top lane. Now this one is a bit tricky, but with some practice you'll get there. You have to click outside of the placement range on top of the wall. And you know it's the wall because the cursor turns red. This allows you to ward the enemy tri-brush from the river. Overall it's very helpful, but especially against junglers like Kayn, Zac, Shaco, they like to hang around here when looking for a chance to gank bot lane. And this way, you'll be able to spot them much earlier because if you just have a normal ward in the river, by the time you see them, it's probably too late. You can also ward the bot tri-brush from the dragon pit. Get as close as possible and click when the cursor turns red. Also in the dragon pit, you can ward this brush. Aim just a bit outside the range like this and the ward will be placed inside even though it's showing the blue color. So yeah, this game has a lot of bugs. You can do the exact same thing in the Baron Pit. Aim right at the edge when the cursor is blue and bam, it's inside the brush even though it shouldn't. Same for the top try brush. When you're pushing mid lane, you should always ward over the wall like this to make sure you're not getting flanked. I mean, not just pushing, it's a good ward if you're just defending too. You get the idea. Top lane works exactly as bot, the same tricks can be used. And mid is pretty simple, just ward over the wall, there's no trick here. All the other brushes can simply be warded over the wall or using the same tricks we already talked about because the map is symmetric, so there's no point in covering them. One last thing to mention is that these trick wards only work if the enemy doesn't have vision of you. For example, you can be in the blind spot of this brush, but if they have a ward here, then it doesn't matter. When you go for these trick wards, you should always be using the lens sweeper, or at least be with a teammate who's using it, just to make sure the enemy doesn't have vision of that area, and you are able to place the ward without being seen. The conclusion is to never go in a straight line towards an area you have no vision of. Always try to ward from the safest distance possible and use the walls to block their vision, and that's it. Thank you for watching and good luck on the fields of justice.